Good morning, Joanne. Good morning, Maria Chongos. ¿Cómo amanecieron? Yo amanecido doblando toallas. Y tapando mi cafecito con panela y bananas. Estaba oyendo allá y ahora en la mañana y me estaba haciendo reír. Why is that, Maria Chongos? ¿No traes ganas? Or is it cold where you're at? Because if it's cold, I wouldn't want to get out of the colchas neither. In South Texas, it's hot. But I don't care. I'm still drinking coffee. Good morning, LB Raiders. I was telling Maria Chongos and Joanne Snapple that Yaya was making me laugh. Let me tell you all the secret. Our turkeys are only 10 pounds, so I'm making two. One of them is getting boiled. Darn it. I don't care. I'll try it. If I don't, the ninja will. But I went into my pantry of spices and hi, Sharon. Good afternoon in Spain. Is it? I hope so, because it's still hot here. Hi, Manny girl. Well, I was looking at all my spices, and guess what? Yeah. I am going to brine it. Look. I found a box of Kinder's brine. But I started reading it, yeah. And it has kosher salt. We all know that. Garlic. We all know that. And their spices, it says red peppers, bell peppers, and sunflower oil. And that's not the little packet. That's just a brine. This other little packet is for the seasoning that you put on top of that turkey. Which is fine. It's still going to have to be tweaked by me. Because isn't thyme and rosemary part of Thanksgiving holiday stuff? Happy Thanksgiving to you, Teresa Riley. Well, I've never brined it, but I did have a brine thing there because I think the last trip that Evita made over here, she brought stuff and I just put the stuff that she brings me in the pantry. So I do happen to have some brine and I'm going to use it, but look at this, and I just tweaked it. Yeah, quedaron palitos de romero aquí because I didn't want to use that branch, but I took all of the little rosemary leaves off, and they're soaking in the brine that just boiled right now. You of course have to wait until it gets cold, and then you add the other part of the cold water. Sugar, oranges, and lemons. Well, the whole purpose of a brine is to do reverse osmosis, okay? What happens when that turkey is in the brine is the juices that the turkey naturally has inside go into the water and it exchanges whatever's in that water back into the turkey. That's why they're saying 30 minutes per pound on the box. But reverse osmosis on something that's cold is going to take a while because you're doing the cold process. I'm getting set up to have a nice time with the family, Maria Chongos. This last weekend was Valdemar's birthday. And we went the day before his birthday because we wanted to allow him time to spend with Maria's family on his birthday. So we went the day before and we had the cake and everything. And we sat at the table, girl, and we were playing dominoes. And I was cracking up. I was cracking up because my sister Frances always acts blonde, girl. And we were telling her it needed to add up to fives. And wherever she put the domino, that one wasn't going to count. So Blondie didn't understand the concept, but at the end, she beat all of us. So we're fixing to have fun with family. And that's the whole thing about Thanksgiving. Yes, it is, Maria Chongos. The whole point of sitting at the table with family, taking your time to eat, being stuffed. My family always watches the football game. I'm not a football person. I'll rather put money on the game and let it be, see if I'm going to win. But they like to watch the game. But I'm hoping Valdemar shows up with the dominoes. But that's me. I don't know if my granddaughters know how to play dominoes or not. I do have a set. I have never learned how to play chess. I play checkers, and people don't like our Mexican way of playing checkers, but oh well. That's why I wore this dark lipstick, Maria Chongos, so they can zoom in. You know they're back there somewhere. They're somewhere back there, them haters. I don't know if you're a friend of mine on my Facebook, but I just put a TikTok up there. And the guy singing, "You don't pay my bills." Well, at least 5 of them are here. And I don't care. I'm going to tell you, I need you back there. I need you, so stay alert. Don't forget to hit like and share. And if you're a hater, share it because you want to tell others that I put my lipstick wrong or I did something wrong in front of the camera. Good morning, Cesar. How's your turkey going? Are you starting to thaw it out? I just thought I'd let y'all know that I did find a Kinder's brine in my spice spread rack on my pantry and I'm using it, but I'm only going to use half of it because I don't want that turkey all salty. What are you up to, Cesar? Ay, girl, ni te apures porque si están aquí, como quiera se van a chingar a su madre cuando yo acabe. I was talking to Cesar like 2 days ago. He was grocery shopping, buying his turkey and stuff. And we were cracking up about them haters. That's what I like about having open communication with some of the peacocks. That, it's like it doesn't matter what them haters do because they hate when we smile and say, you know what, we're still walking forward. God is so good to all of us that, I've never brined a turkey, but I'll be darned if I didn't have a box of Kinder's brine in my pantry where the spices are at. And it's a kit, so it came with a brine bag. So the turkey, so this is gonna go in one of my big pots first, like like if it was gonna be used like a trash bag, and then I'm gonna put the brine in there in the bag, and then it says to take the giblets and neck out of the turkey. And once you do that, you brine it overnight or whatever, but that water has to be room temperature, and then the other water has to be ice cold. So what I did was I got 4 of these, filled them up with tap water because I'm not using my drinking water for that, and I put it in the freezer. So when it's nice and icy, that's when it'll go into the brine, which I boiled earlier, and it's right now off and soaking with some extra thyme and some rosemary that I cut from outside because I have rosemary plants. Winches. I know you're there looking and trying to discuss what's that Mexican doing. Don't forget, I was born in the United States. I might be a Mexican, but I know about making turkeys. I can guarantee you, if there's any turkey left, it will be made into tamales. Ya sabes, María. Ya sabes, en todo están menos en misa. Pero cuando hacen sus programas quieren decir que sí están en misa porque se están dando golpes de pureza like, oh my gosh, nobody can be holier than them. But I'm the first number 1 sinner, me, and they don't want that spot. So I got them beat somewhere. And that's what I like. Como quiera se chingan, María Chongos. Si no quieren decir que son la número 1 pecadoras, entonces ya me las chingué. Porque yo sí soy pecadora. Tanto que mira, me acabo de limpiar los labios y nomás porque estaba tomando café, se me cayó un poquito de lipstick. Soy tan pecadora que uso lipstick para que no se note. Imagínate, andar con alguien bien trajeado como César Damaso y luego pintarle la camisa o el cachete o nombre. Right, César? Thank you, my grandchild. Yeah, it does sound suspicious. But I don't. Mm, thank you, Teresa Riley. I was barely gonna say, I don't think Linda. I didn't know who my moderators, which one of my moderators. Hmm. I'm trying to do something, but I don't know where it's at. I think I found it. Good morning, Mama Testa. Did I do it? So if you don't like something that's going on here, Maria Chongo, see if you can remove them. I think I just added you as a moderator. No, you're not out, Mama Mesta. You're here. I read it wrong. You're here, Mama Mesta. But yeah, we're talking about that I have never brined a turkey, and Yaya was telling me to brine a turkey, and I happened to go into my pantry, and every time my daughter comes, she came like a couple of months ago, she brings me things. Well, I didn't know I had a box of Kinder's brine for turkeys. And I thank you. But I mean, those haters like to be here. They need to go get more subscriptions because I need to get to 1,000. Somebody's got to be able to make some money, and I'm not making any. I got to get to 10,000 on TikTok. Being on that group 7 hasn't helped. I think I only increased by like around 50, and that's about how many people I got here on more on YouTube in the last month. But it doesn't matter. I didn't want to use all the brine because the turkey is only 10 pounds. And it says if you have a turkey up to 10 pounds, use half of the brine. And if it's over 10 pounds, use all of the brine. And I think it has too much salt. It started off with salt on the ingredients. Thank you, Mama Mesta. I don't know. But I think that they stay around 20. I got 30 right now. So Yaya was telling me to do a brine, and I went into my pantry and found one. I get lucky. My daughter buys me stuff, and I have thyme, I have rosemary there. But I also tweaked the brine with my own rosemary from outside. And I cut all the little branches, and those are the ones I used. I don't want to use this big branch. And I tweaked the brine with rosemary. And now it's cooling off. And then I got up like early. So I folded the towels that were in the dryer. And yesterday the birds got their sheet and towels. They have 4 towels and a big king size sheet around their cages. So I washed those yesterday. So it was my day of cleaning everything around here because I'm expecting my grandkids to come. And when my grandkids come, RJ Love gave me the cage that's at the bottom. But that cage at the bottom is not a bird cage. It's a kennel for, I guess, a bigger dog. And what I did was she gave me the kennel and I put chicken wire around it because I wanted my baby cockatiels to have more area to fly and play with and in and stuff. So the babies were all in the bottom, and right now I have 3 babies, and I gave 3 babies away. But there was 6 babies on the bottom cage at one time, and then just the mom and the dad in the top cage. But every night they get covered with that sheet and the 4 towels. And then if it gets cold, I'll put a colcha on top of that. But the reason that I had to clean all that area is because when my grandkids are in this house, those birds know they're going to be grabbed. And Lily will go into that kennel and get them. So she puts on gloves and she goes in there and grabs the birds. So the birds know that when those kids are here, and I'm already warning them, they're going to not be in the cage because they like to play with them and they don't care if they bite. They grab them until they stop biting. Then when they stop biting, they'll let them on the floor and they'll pet them and stuff. But I guess over the last 2 years, they've already gotten used to when the girls are here, somebody's going to grab them. I don't grab them. Thank you, Saint Martinez. I thank every single one of you for caring about what we do and what's going on with our lives and, stuff. Not all of us are in 100% health. I mean, if I was in 100% health, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't be taking 2 of these iron pills every freaking day. It's like, oh. But a year ago, I'm going to tell you all, God is so great. A year ago, I was dying, and I didn't even know it. I noticed little things a year ago, and I ignore a lot of it because we don't go to the doctor unless we are dying. And I had noticed that when we went to Progreso and parked our vehicle, I couldn't walk as fast as my 2 other sisters were walking because I was running out of breath, air. And I didn't know what was causing it. And it went on like that for like a few months, where I would notice that if I walked from my front porch to the street to get my mail, I was out of air. All of that has to do with iron in your blood, the oxygen level that you can absorb has to do with the iron that's in your blood. Well, I didn't know that I was low in iron. I didn't know that. So it's like, oh, well, I'm 61 now, and I guess we all start getting some types of illnesses that we never had. And I tell people, I don't criticize fat people because I used to be 300 pounds, and I feel like at 300 pounds I was healthier than now that I'm 180. But I don't know if that has to do with age too, so it's like, eh. But hey, I'm so glad that God has given those doctors the wisdom. Call Winkwick. Good morning. Uh, I'm so glad that God has given those doctors the wisdom to say, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to bring you back up. And a year later, I can say, hey, I'll take those 2 pills a day and leave it at that for right now. Everything's normal. And I'm back to breathing normal. And being able to smile every morning when I get up and say, thank you, God. I know I have some haters out there, but that's okay. I'll mess with them today again. Thank you. Good morning, Pam Blackburn. How are you doing today? We're talking about Tuesday. What are you doing on Tuesday? Hay un buen dicho en español que dice en martes no te cases ni te embarques. On Tuesday don't get married and don't take a trip. That's the Spanish saying. Don't get married on Tuesday and don't take a trip on Tuesday. But what we are doing this Tuesday is we're starting with the making of a brine. Why? Because we're gonna brine the turkey this year. We've never brined it. I have never brined a turkey. Oh, you're at work? Well, be careful. Pam, be careful. All my jobs required for me not to have a cell phone in there, so it's like... But I'm also boiling a turkey because our turkeys are only like 10 pounds each. We didn't buy big turkeys. So they're 10 pounds each. So one of them is going into the gravy and the other one will be oven baked. Y el que quiera oven baked turkey, ahí va a estar. Not me. But I didn't want it to be too salty, so I left half. Let me see. Let me show you how much I left. I left half of this bag of brine out. I think it was up to here. And I left half of it in there. And on there it said kosher salt, black pepper, garlic, and bell peppers. I didn't say any other. It said spices, but they didn't mention what kind. So I went ahead and tweaked it with some thyme and some rosemary. And this is the Kinder's. Oh, what is it? It's a Kinder's Butcher's Brine and Rub Kit. It does have another little packet in here, and it has a bag for the turkey to be brined in. But I boiled the water, put that salt mixture in it, added the rosemary in there, and we're going to wait for it to cool off because you don't want to put hot water on a cold turkey. Well, Maria Garcia, on me last year, what they did was they actually had to do iron infusions, like a transfusion of blood. They did that with iron. But the very first one that they did on me, Maria Garcia, was, I felt awful. I felt like my head was going to break. And it didn't start happening until I got out of the clinic. And that whole week, my head was, I don't know, I've never had a headache. But when you never have a headache, and I was 60 at the time, when you never have a headache and then you get one so bad that you feel like your head is breaking and you're screaming because your head is hurting so bad that you feel like it's going to explode. The very next week that I had to go for the next iron uh, transfusion that they did, I told the nurse, hey, something went real wrong with that iron transfusion, and I guess she knew about it. And why they don't start you with both is beyond me, because when they did the second one, she said, excuse me, I'll be right back. So she went and talked to the doctor and told him what I had complained about. And then she came back and told me, we're going to give you a steroid with, right after we give you the iron, we're going to give you a steroid in your vein also. Well, when they did that, my head my head was not hurting. I did feel like the next thing that was like I was floating for the whole week. Like I had to double look when I was taking steps and stuff because I felt like I was floating. Um, because of the type of steroids that they had to use, so I wouldn't have those headaches. But they told me yes, and they told me that that was gonna be one of the side effects. But they never told me that if I only got the iron by itself, that I was gonna have those headaches. They never told me that, and it took like almost 12 or 15 of those transfusions of iron for my body to come to normalize. And but I was taking the iron plus 2 pills of this a day and other pills that they gave me, and I'm staying normal. The numbers are normal. Well, I did take the vitamin C also, but I feel like I'm taking too many meds. Last year, when I was going through all that, I did a liver cleansing with natural teas that I ordered from TikTok that were made specifically to detox my liver. And I feel like that helped me. And these are things that we can't accuse somebody about doing witchcraft on us, that we came across this illness. It's something that's probably going to happen because of our age, but people are real quick to say that, and I rebuke those kind of thoughts. I just say it's probably because of my age. Although I know that there's children that are anemic and stuff like that, but I'm never going to say that it's because somebody caused it. Nobody can cause any illness on anybody else unless it's something like AIDS or something like that. Venereal disease. Those are caused by other people, or by you not being careful when you use drugs with others. I don't use drugs. I'm a follower of Nancy Reagan. Say no to drugs. That's why my first one on the list is say no to doctors. And believe me, I tell Kimberly, she's my doctor, and I tell her, you're a pill pusher. And she always tells me the same thing, you're in denial. But that's because you need to get along with your doctor. You need to trust any doctor that you see. To know what they're doing is the best for you. If you don't trust your doctor, then you're in dipshit. You have to trust your doctor. And sometimes they can disappoint you, but you gotta think God has given them the wisdom to work with you and keep you at a health level that you're gonna keep on going to the maximum of whatever your timeline is, because we do believe that we have a timeline. But hey, it's Tuesday, and I just wanted to let you all know that, it doesn't matter how life valleys are, there's always going to be a mountain in them. Try to walk towards that mountain up with your chin up. If the haters are there telling you stuff and trying to bring you down, just laugh it off and keep on going. And I want to thank every one of you for allowing me into your Tuesday morning, for allowing me to laugh with you about me tweaking Mr. Kinder's brine, because I know that he's got a good recipe in there, but to me, it needed some more rosemary, so I went ahead and tweaked it. But I will follow his water instructions, and I only used half because my turkey's only 10 pounds. So you all have an awesome, awesome day. Take care of the kids. I know they're at home. Watch the kids. It doesn't matter. Just watch the kids. Y'all have a nice day.